Hello, this is Kuntal Chakraborty, Assistant Professor of Electrical Engineering Department, Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management, JIS Group. And I'm just going to discuss the different instructions of 8051 microcontroller. And in our previous lecture, we already discussed different data transfer and arithmetic instructions. Now, in this lecture, we are just going to discuss different logical instructions and branch instructions. So first we will try to explain logical instructions. As we know, different logic functions we have like AND, OR and XOR. This kind of instructions or functions that can be performed by using 8051 microcontroller by using different instructions. So first I'm just going to discuss the AND operations, and that is performed by ANL instructions. So example, ANL A, has data. It means the content of the AND operation that is done between content of A and the data, immediate data. So example like ANL A, has 25H. So here the AND operation performed between content of A and with the 25H, and result that will be stored into the accumulator, and we will get some effect on the flags. And next is a ANL A, Rn. It means the and example like ANL A, R5 means the AND operation done between content of A and the content of R5, and the result that will be stored into the accumulator, and will get the effect on the flags. Next, ANL A, direct. Example like ANL A, 50H. So here what is happening, and the AND operations is performed in between the content of A and the content of 50H, that is the RAM locations. So after the addition AND operation, the result that will be stored into the accumulator. ANL A, at Ri. So example like ANL A, at R2. This is the indirect one, means the R2 basically holds a RAM address in which we have our data, and the AND operation performed in between the content of A and the data that is held by the RAM locations that is stored into R2. And next is the ANL direct, A. Example like ANL 55H, A. Here the content of 55H ended with the content of A. So that is the operations, the AND operation that is done, and we will affect, and that will affect the flags also. Now ANL direct, has data. So example like ANL 31H, has 56H. So here the AND operation is done by using the content of 31H, that is the RAM locations, and with the 50H, and the result that will be that is effect on the flags also. So that is the AND operations by which we can perform logical AND functions. So these are different way by which we can perform different logical functions. Next is OR operations or functions, logical functions that can be performed by using ORL instructions. So ORL A, has data. Here example like ORL A, has 25H. So here the OR operation is performed in between the content of A and 25H, and the result that will be stored into the accumulator, and we will get the effects on the flags also. Now ORL A, Rn. Example like ORL A, R5. The OR operations basically performed in between the content of A and the content of R5, and the result that will be stored into the accumulator, and we will get effects on the flags also. Next, ORL A, direct. Example like ORL A, 50H. So here the OR operation is performed with the content of A and the content of the RAM location 50, and the result that will be stored into the accumulator, and we will get the effects on the flags also. Next, ORL A, at Ri. Example like ORL A, at R2. So here the OR operation is performed in between the content of A, and R2 basically holds a RAM address, that is basically this particular RAM address has a data, and that is the OR operation is performed in between these two data, and the result that will be stored into the accumulator, and we will get the effects on the flags. Next, ORL direct, A. Here the ORL operations means OR operation is performed in between the content of 55H, that is the RAM locations, and the content of A, and we will get the effects on the flags. ORL direct comma has data. So here the example like ORL 31H comma has 56H. So here the OR operation is performed in between the content of 31H, this is the RAM locations, and with the 56H directly we are providing a data. So and we will get some effects on the flags. So that is the OR operations, and this is the different way by which the OR that can be performed in 8051 microcontroller. Now XRL operations, that is basically same like AND or OR operations. So here in case of XRL operations, A comma has data, like XRL A comma has 25H. So here the XOR operation is performed in between the content of A and 25H, and the result that will be stored into the accumulator, and we will get the effects on the flags also. Now next, XRL A comma Rn, XRL A comma R5. So here the XOR operation is performed in between the content of A and content of R5, and the result that will be stored into the accumulator, and we will get the effects on the flags also. Now XRL A comma direct. So in these operations basically the content of A and the content of 50H. So example like XRL A comma 50H. So here the 50H is the RAM locations, the content of this 50H, and with the content of A, the XOR operation is performed, and the result that will be stored into the accumulator, and we will get the effects on the flags also. Now next is the XRL A comma at Ri. So here the XOR is performed in between the content of A, and the R2 basically holds RAM locations, so in which we have a data, and these two data basically perform the XOR operations, and we will get the effects on the flags. XRL direct comma A. So here the example like XRL 55H comma A, here the content of 55H, that is the RAM locations, and the content of A, the XOR operations is performed in between these two data, and we will get the effects on the flags. XRL direct comma has data. So example like XRL 31H comma has 56H. So here the content of H, 31H, that is the RAM locations, and 56H, that is the direct provided data, and the XOR operation done between these two data, and we will get the effects on the flags also. So this is the XRL operations. This is the previous like AND or OR operations. So this, by using the XRL instructions, we can perform different way. So that I already discussed. And next logic instruction is CPL, by which we can basically perform one's complement. So example like CPL A. So the data, that is the content of A, that will be complemented by 1. So by using CPL A, the data of A that is stored into accumulator, that will be complemented by 1. CPL C means the content of the carry flag, that will be complemented by 1. Means 1 complements that can be done by using CPLC. Now CPL bit address, a particular bit address that can be complemented by using the CPL instructions. So that is also a logical instructions. Next is a swap instructions, that is a instructions, that is a logical instructions also. Swap A, by using swap A, basically upper nibble and lower nibble of A that can be swapped each other. So means upper nibble that will be swap into lower nibble, and lower nibble that will swap into the upper nibble. So that is the way we can swap upper nibble and lower nibble of A. So that is also a logical instructions. Next logical instruction is RRA, and by using RRA we can rotate a bit of the accumulator right. So the content of A that will be shifted by 1 in the right side, and by using RR that can be done. Next is the RLA, the content of A that will be shifted by 1 in the left side. And this kind of operations, the shifting, that can be done by using RL instructions. So RR or RL instructions are the logical instruction, and these are the very important instructions. Next is logical instructions is RRC, by which we can shift a bit of A through carry, and the previous one was RR, this is not shifted through carry, but in case of RRC, the bit, the content of A, that will be shifted through carry, and a bit that will be shifted through carry by using RRC instructions. Next is the RLC instructions, by which the one bit of data of accumulator, the one bit, the left, that can be rotated in the left side through carry. So the content of the accumulator, that will be shifted by 1 through carry by using RLC instructions. So RRC and RLC, these instructions basically shift instructions, and that is basically rotate through carry, but RR and RC RL instructions, these two instructions are not rotated through carry. So these are the logical instructions of 8051 instructions. So now is the branch instructions. In 8051 microcontroller have different branch instructions. So first is a short absolute jump call instructions, and next one is a long absolute jump call instructions. Basically we have two types of instructions, branch instructions. One is a conditional and another one is a unconditional. So these are the unconditional jump or call instructions. So here the A call instructions is a absolute call instruction, or A jump instruction is the absolute jump instructions, and here the address is basically used 11 address. So in 8051 microcontroller, 64 kilobyte of program memory space is basically divided into 32 pages of each of 2 kilobytes, and this hexadecimal address of the pages are basically like this. So here the page and as well as address is basically we are getting. So here this is the way by which the page and address can be segregated, or divided. And it can be seen that the upper 5 bits of the program counter that holds the page number, and the lower 11 bits of the program counter hold the address. So that is basically done in case of A call or A jump instructions. And thus an absolute address is formed by taking the page number as well as the address, 11 bits address. So that is a way we can use the A call and A jump instructions. Basically A call instructions is used to basically call a subroutine. A subroutine is instructions, a set of instructions basically written into a particular memory. So every time we need this subroutine, then at that time we will basically call the instruction by using A call instructions or L call instructions. And whenever we call the instruction, then the program sequence that will be transferred to these particular locations where the subroutine is written. Similarly, A jump instructions is basically use the address of 11 address lines, 11 address. So where the whenever we have to jump unconditionally to a particular address, then we will use the A jump, that is absolute jump. And by using 16-bit address, the long call and long jump that can be performed. So in case of long call, where the subroutine is written into a particular address, so whenever we have to basically call the subroutine, then we have to use the L call, and after writing the L call a particular address, then the jump program sequence that will be transferred to this particular address, and after performing the subroutine, again it will come back to its previous position by using instructions that is returned. And next is a L jump instructions, that is the long jump instructions. Here we will use a 16-bit address by which the jump sequence that can be transferred to a particular locations. So this is the way by which the unconditional call and jump that can be made. So these are the branch instructions. Next we will try to explain the conditional jump instructions. So these are the also branch instructions. First is a JBC, that is jump if the bit is equal 1 and clear the bit. So what is happening here? If we will try to find out a bit whether it is 1 or not. If it is 1, then then we will jump to a particular location that is specified by these instructions, and obviously we will have to clear the bit also. So next JNB, that is jump if the bit is equal 0. Now we will try to find out a bit, whether the bit is 0 or not. If it is 0, then we will jump to a particular location. So that is specified by this JNB instruction. So address that is written after the JNB, 16-bit address. Next is a JB instructions. This is a branch instructions. It means if a particular bit is set as 1, so at this time it will jump to a particular locations that is specified by the JB or associated with the address that is with the instructions JB. Next, JNC jump if the carry that is reset, basically if carry is not generated. So at that time it will jump to a particular location specified or associated with these instructions. JC jump if the carry that is equal to 1. If carry is generated, means if the carry is set as 1. So at this time it will jump to a particular locations associated with these instructions. Next, CJNE register comma has data. So example, it means basically a byte, a particular byte that is stored into a register. So if it is not equal to a data, then it will jump to a particular location that is associated with these instructions. Now next, CJNE a comma byte. So if the content of A is not equal to a particular particular byte that is specified, so at that time it will jump to a particular locations or address that is associated with these instructions. DJNZ, it means it is decremented the content of the accumulator if it is not equal to 0. If the content of the accumulator is not 0, then it will be decremented by 1 and it will jump to a particular address that is associated with these instructions. Next is JNZ jump if the A is not equal to 0. If A is not equal to 0, so means here if the A has if A has a non-zero value, then it will jump to a particular locations associated with these instructions. JZ jump if A is equal to 0, means if the content of the result is 0 that is stored into the accumulator, and it will jump to a particular locations if the JZ is equal, that is associated with these JZ instructions. So these are the branch instructions. Next is the bit manipulations instructions. And here we have the bit manipulations instructions. Here the logical instructions, bit manipulation instruction like ANLC comma bit. This is for used for the bit address. So that is performed with the carry and the particular bit address. So AND operation is performed. ANLC comma bit, that is a particular bit of data that is ANDed with the carry bit. So these are the bit manipulations instructions. So here the operation is performed in between the two bits. So here now the logical OR operations, that is similar like AND operations. There is ORLC comma bit, that is OR operations is performed with the carry and the particular bit address. ORLC comma bit, so here the OR operation is performed with the carry with a particular bit of data. So these are the bit manipulations instruction, logical bit manipulations instructions. Next, clear bit. So by using this instruction we can clear a particular bit. Any bit that can be cleared by using reset by using this instruction. Clear C, by using this instruction we can clear a particular bit, carry. Now CPL bit, by using these instructions we can complement a particular bit. CPLC, by using this instruction we can complement the carry flag. So these are the bit manipulation instructions by which we can manipulate a particular bit. Next, assembler directives we have. In assembler directives basically tell the assembler to do something other than the creating the machine code for an instructions. So ORG is the example of assembler directives. So this is basically origin. So the ORG directives is used to indicate the starting address of a particular program. So this ORG is a assembler directives. Now next is a EQU and set. EQU and set directives are assigned numerical value or register name to the specified symbol name. EQU is used to define a constant without storing information in the memory. Without storing the information, it is basically defined a constant. and the symbol defined with this EQU should not be redefined. And next is the set directives allow redefinitions of symbols at a later stage and of the address. And these are the assembler directives. Now next is a defined byte, that is the DB. This is also assembler directives. The DB directives is used to define a 8-bit of data. Say 8-bit of data, it may be a binary, it may be decimal, hexadecimal, or ASCII formats, ASCII format. For decimal, the data that should be specified by D after the decimal number. And in case of hexadecimal, we have to use the H, and in case of binary, we have to use the B to specify the particular data. So example like data 1, that is DB20H, that is hexadecimal data, we can specify or define a byte by using DB. DB11011000B, that is basically we are providing the binary data here. DB33, basically this is defined 33, that is the decimal data, and we can use the decimal D here, or otherwise we cannot use, we need not use it. So if you not write D, so it automatically take it as a decimal number. And data 4, that is DB, if you write ES, so that is basically a ASCII number. So that is these are the way that we have to specify the data particular byte we have to define by writing H, B, or D. So these are the DB assembler directives. Next is the end. This is also the assembler directives. The end directive signals the end of the assembler module. So this is basically used to end the assembly module, and it indicates the end of the program of the assembler. So that is the way the end is used to as a assembler directives. Next is the addressing modes of 8051 microcontroller. So in 8051 microcontroller, addressing modes is first addressing modes is the immediate addressing modes. So here the data is immediately available in the instructions. Example like add A, #4C. So it means the 4C is the data that is immediately added with the content of A. Example like add A, #39H. So here the content of A with the 39H that will be added. Immediately we are providing the 39H data. So this is the way the immediate addressing that can be performed. So now next is a register addressing mode. This is this way of addressing accesses the bytes in the current register bank, and data is available in the register specified in the instructions. The register bank is decided by 2 bits of processor status port, that is PSW, we already know, and that is basically specified register bank 0, 1, 2, and 3. And for example like add A, R3, so here the addition is performed in between the content of A and the content of R3. So that is a register addressing modes. Next is the direct addressing modes. Here the address of the data is available in the instructions. For example is like MOV A, 44H. So here the content of 44H means this is the RAM locations. Here the content of 44H that will be stored into the accumulator. So that is the direct way by which the content that can be stored into the accumulator. Next is the register indirect addressing modes. So here the address of the data is available in the R0 to R7 of register bank and as specified in the instructions. So for example like MOV A, at R7 means the content of R7, that is the address of the RAM, and the data of this particular RAM that will be stored into the accumulator. So that is the indirect way and by which the data that can be stored into the accumulator. So next is the external data addressing modes. The pointer used in this external data addressing modes can be either R0, R1, that is 256 bytes of access, or DPTR for 64 kilobyte access. For example, like MOVAX A comma at R1, so by which the external data that can be moved into the accumulator. MOVX A comma at DPTR, so that is done the external data that can be accessed by using DPTR, and that can be copied into A. Now, external code addressing. Sometimes we may want to store non-volatile data into the ROM. As for example, lookup tables, such data may require reading the code memory. So this may be done by using MOVC instructions that I already discussed in data transfer instructions. MOVC A comma at A plus DPTR, that is the program memory, and the data stored in this program memory that will be stored into the accumulator. And MOVC A comma at A plus PC, that is also a program memory, and data stored in this particular address that is created by at A plus PC. So A plus PC, so that will be stored into the accumulator. So this is the external code addressing. So I already discussed in this lecture the logical instructions, as well as addressing modes, and bit manipulation instructions, and branch instructions here. Thank you.